And I'm here with Darcy Miller from Martha Stewart Weddings, and she had a presentation today, and she's going to kind of give us a little recap of your presentation today.
Great. Well, this year marked the 20th anniversary of Martha Stewart Weddings, so it was a little bit of a walk down memory lane of the last 20 years. And at Engage, we're hearing a lot about how all the people here can build their brand, and kind of the theme to my talk was about knowing your brand and really making sure that you can articulate it yourself. And if you don't know it yourself, how are you going to articulate it to your team, to clients? And so I kind of took the walk down memory lane with the Martha Stewart Weddings brand, and I started with Martha's wedding and showed pictures of her in her wedding dress, and which of course Martha made, and her mother made the bridesmaids, and then walked through, she wrote a book when she was weddings when she was a caterer, and we started the magazine in 95 and then have published other books, and we have Martha Stewart Weddings and our special issues. And then I really kind of went through different words that described the brand and how, again, tried to convey to the industry and all of the people here who have amazing businesses the importance of knowing your brand. Mm-hmm. So we went through and talked about some of the words and saw images about being innovative yet timeless. And it's that fine line that for us, we always want to reinvent how to do something. We want to approach it in a new way, whether it's a dessert buffet or a bouquet, yet at the same time we're not trying to be trendy. And I think with weddings it's important not to be trendy, and you never want someone to look back at their wedding pictures and say, oh my gosh, look at that, was I crazy? And so it's a very fine line to continue to innovate and do things in a different way without being like, as I said, overly trendy. And we want to be informative when, we want you to be inspired. So there might be a beautiful bouquet that you're inspired by, but we're also teaching you about the seasonality of flowers and the names of the different orchids. And I think when you see the imagery, it makes the brand come to life. And I think that that's something important for all the industry people here, just to remember knowing what their brand is and knowing how they're going to convey that to whether it's brides, grooms, mothers. And we all know that the wedding is not just about the bride, the groom. It's about the whole, family and all the different, it doesn't really matter. And I said this today, it really doesn't matter who's paying. It does matter too, but really we like to think that, what matters is that it's the coming together of two people and their families and their friends, and keeping that in mind, and making sure that as a vendor, whether you're the wedding planner, the florist, the caterer, yes, the caterer wants to know what the bride and groom's favorite flavors are, but the caterer also has to think about their guests and how many people are kosher or have allergies. And so it's just something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as a new business is thinking about their brand, what did you have any suggestions or anything?
Well, I think that this advice goes to people who have established brands and who are starting brands, that, if you can't articulate it yourself, then how are you going to articulate it to others? And sometimes, businesses and brands, they evolve, they take different directions, but along the way you have to just be aware and be consistent about what it is. And Rebecca always said to me when she visited the Martha Stewart offices a while ago that she loved that we had the words up we had them painted on the wall and at Stewart Lehigh, our offices in Chelsea and New York City. And so all the employees or our guests or our clients or whoever came to visit the offices, when you would walk down the hall, you would see these words. And so it was just something that, resonated with her. So as a business owner, or for all these incredible companies who have their own businesses, thinking about, you might know the words, but you have to make sure that everyone who works for you and everyone who comes through, and that messaging has to be consistent, whether it's on your social media, your website, it's in your materials, because brides are also, and grooms, and everyone planning weddings, everyone does a lot of research. They're looking at a lot of different things, and you kind of have one shot. They hear your name, they're like, oh, I'm going to check that out. They go to your Instagram, and it is that first impression. And, a lot of times someone will say to me, oh, I know I need to update my website, or I need to get on Instagram, or, and yes, it's not that every picture has to be perfect, but you have to remember the messaging that you're sending out that influences whether someone's going to make that call to meet with you. And so in a way, I can't remember, someone said today, I don't know, I think maybe it was Carly, said about being on Instagram and the importance of being Instagram. And I'm sure, of course, we're doing this interview today, but in 6 months it might be something different. With the one thing we know about, all of this, and especially technology, one thing for sure is it will change. So, but whatever it is, you have to make sure that, if you want to grow your business, that you kind of are out there in the right places.
Right.
And, just, some of the other words also that I talked about were celebratory and fun. And I think at the wedding industry, and especially at Engage, when you see all these gorgeous pictures of people's incredible tents and their flowers and all the decadent things that people are doing, that at the end of the day, we all have to remember that it's really about romance, and it's about two people are committing to each other, and it should be fun. And yes, you want the flowers to be beautiful, but at the end of the day, you want the couple to enjoy it, you want their family and their friends to enjoy it, and you want the day to be filled with love.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said something about a new book.
Yes, the Martha Stewart Weddings book, which actually you can pre-order on Amazon. It comes out December 1st, and today we did a fun giveaway of 3 books to the audience. And, I think that this is an amazing gift for someone who's recently engaged. It's great for industry, it's great for brides, it's a great holiday gift, but it really is a lot of the best images and a whole compilation of really useful information, inspiration, ideas to create a wedding that's beautiful but that's also personal to you.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any closing thoughts?
I don't know. Well, closing thoughts, I would just say that it's great to be at Engage. It's always great to get inspired by all these incredible experts in the industry, and I think that the wedding industry is a really incredible group of talented people who all collectively love to celebrate love. And that my one piece of advice to someone getting married, again, is to just enjoy it and have fun in the process, and turn to all these experts, but at the end of the day, keep in mind what it's all about.